One of the important roles of the warriors is to protect those who have been silenced.
To know your warrior Loi is to devote you to protecting and uplifting.
Without them, there is no us, and without us, they cannot live.
Understanding that you are being embraced by your ancestors and that you've got to let go.
Our ancestral spirits is there to help,
I respect death.
to assist,
I do not fear it,
and to aid.
and to live it. It's a part of life, not the end of life.
The sacredness of ceremony, the connection, the power, and the
It's a
link.
reflection of life. It is vibration. It is energy, and it speaks.
We are the vessel, the altar, the thread, the path.
To know your spirit animal is
To know the spirits of the land untouched.
Honor,
respect,
honor,
respect,
honor.
respect.
We are Her Royal Majesty, Queen Mother, Dr. Deities here, Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Corps Agboje of the African Diaspora.
Sego,
Sego,
Clan Mother, Sharan Wapatukwe Piper, Tribal Head Leader for Golden Hopogwasa Tribe, and Medicine Woman and Spiritualist.
Les tribunaux
Marraine,
et les gens.
votre grâce.
Je suis donc nous sommes Queen Cotelia de la Livre, le Renédou de la Croix Imperial Monumentos de la Livre. I am Queen Cotelia de la Livre. For we shall leave this realm, for we shall return. The next generation, Act 1.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir, bonsoir, comment vas-tu? J'espère que tu vas bien. Je suis Queen Cotalia Benson Monumentos de la Livre Renédou de la Croix Imperial Monumentos de la Livre. Bienvenue sur mon channel. Welcome to my channel. And I am honored to announce that the 2025 Hoodoo Queen Conjure Fete 8 is officially live and available. But before we get into more of that conversation, I must first ask you to please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, leave a sweet, kind comment below, hit your notification and post notification buttons, and please share the video. How is everyone feeling? How is everyone doing? How has this weekend treated you? We are freshly off of the Working Ritual weekend. And so literally maybe 12 hours ago, we still have people in town actually. But we are so happy to be here and to get things rolling. Welcome everybody, welcome everybody, welcome everybody. Made it back with no delays. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Woo, edges from the Working Ritual weekend. Oh my gosh. Yes, indeed, that weekend has me wanting to sleep good, Isaac says. Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Dr. Stephanie. Y'all, we had a time. We had a good time. I thought that this weekend was going to be just this great introduction, but everybody's like, Queen, this was heavy. This was heavy. Yes, Rich was like, I know the faces now. It was so funny because I had to tell people when they met each other, I'm like, don't tell nobody your real name. What is your handle? What is your handle? Okay. Um, no, Madame LeBeau, I haven't seen it. I have to go check it out. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Feeling liberated, feeling trained, but all the right ways. I'm catching the live at the Atlanta airport. Wonderful. Um, so pretty next door, you will be receiving products depending on what you purchase in your community service, which is one option of nothing, some things, and then all the things. So be aware of that. Those products will probably be going out this week just because we had the work and ritual weekend and needed to set up and get ready for that. Okay. Yes. So I'm so happy that everyone's doing well. So again, as you just saw, the 2025 Hoodoo Queen Conjure Fete is available and live. I'm going to let you know this now. I'm giving this to you now. You can get 15% off of the Hoodoo Queen Conjure Fete in between now and December 16th. This is for the general public. Institute students, you should go and check your the page. Alumni, I'll be reaching out to you, but current students, go check your page. And then, of course, the Working Ritual Weekend attendees, you already got yours. And I will see Marquise, Nazare, and Didi. You got it. Go check your email as well. So I'm just very, very excited about the 2025 Hoodoo Queen Conjure Fete. It will not be like any other year. There are things that I have, things that we are doing, new events that you have not experienced that will be unlocked over the course of the next 3 months. This Conjure Fete in itself, with what you now know, one, VIP, let me make this point clear. There are only 30 VIP tickets. Use your coupon and use your and separate it into 4 easy payments. It's going to knock that price down, I think, not under $100, but a little bit over $100. Don't wait on it. Only VIP in-person individuals will get a Metet head reading by Queen Mother Deities, letting you know which Loa which warrior Loa has your head. This is the one that is going to fight with you, protect you, and those things. Okay? Then, a lot of people always ask me, Queen, what is my spirit guide? What is my spirit guide? Who walks with me? Well, first and foremost, just on a general diasporic basis, your ancestors. But what you really want me to say is this particular unknown spirit. Well, guess what? Clan Mother is going to provide you with a totem divination. You will know what your totem spirit animal is, what that spirit does in your life, and all of those things. In addition to that, they will be teaching classes on how to devote yourself to these particular spirits, the warrior Loa, in addition to your totem spirit. In addition to that, there's some other great, wonderful things I'm not mentioning. But one thing I will tell you is we will, in fact, be having a private powwow, an actual private powwow where you will get an opportunity to be involved, it's an interactive powwow, but you'll also learn the importance of ceremony. I am leaving out a lot. But what I won't leave out is at the end of that video, I mentioned the next generation. And that is because I will be hosting, and this is the only class I'm telling you right now, I will be hosting a class for the next generation. Your babies, your children, are they gifted? Do they have abilities? Do you want to know? Because there are ways of figuring it out. And if you do, then that will be an option for your babies to attend. We got to start sowing our seeds into and watering the next generation. So before, Rikayla, you said how about I do myself every year? You don't even know the beginning. What I've given you just now does not even skim the surface of what next year is bringing. Tonight was only Act 1. No, it is also in person. I mean, it's also virtual too. There are virtual options and there are also in-person options. If you ain't coming in person, what are you doing? And I'm here to let you know something for certain. All of you that want to claim Indigenous and you are unsure, you get on over to this Conjure Fete and we start this powwow. Your people, if you have Indigenous in you, they're going to come up. They're going to speak up. And you're going to have to stand up and get up and move up. Okay? So, before we get into tonight's class in regards to deities, entities, and folk spirits, for those that are just coming in, if you don't know what we're talking about the 2025 HOODOO Queen Conjure Fete, the 8th year, which means it is a royal year. Do we need to purchase separate tickets for the babies? That will be coming next because I have to make sure that my logistics works out because you got to think about this. If the babies are present, what are the babies doing when they're not? So that will be separate. That will be a separate class, a separate ticket, which is not available right now. But for adults, your tickets are available. Those are available now. There are limited spots. Also, readings will be done a week prior to the Conjure Fete for those that are coming in person. This way you get your full time and you don't miss any classes and you're able to already begin to know who has your Metet with the Loa and what spirit guide totem is with you. So, wonderful, Gabrielle. Merci. Merci. Thank you so very much. So the readings are, there are VIP virtual options where you can get a reading done if you're going to go virtually. That is an option as well. But I'm telling you, you don't want to go ahead and set yourself up for a virtual situation. And I'm making this point clear. There's a lot that you are investing in that you don't know that you are investing in. But what you are investing in are things that some people will never have. I think this Working Virtual Weekend definitely can contest to that. But there are things and experiences, new experiences, that you will not have a chance to do for quite a long time. So before we get into that, let's just see this once more and then we'll get into the class.
One of the important roles of the warriors is to protect those who have been silenced.
To know your warrior Wa is to devote you to protecting and uplifting.
Without them, there is no us, and without us, they cannot live.
Understanding that you are being embraced by your ancestors and that you've got to let go.
Our ancestral spirits is there to help,
I respect death.
to assist,
I do not fear it,
and to aid.
and to live it. It's a part of life, not the end of life.
The sacredness of ceremony, the connection, the power, and the
It's a
land.
reflection of life. It is vibration. It is energy, and it speaks.
We are the vessel, the altar, the thread, the path.
To know your spirit animal is
To know the spirits of the land untouched.
Honor,
respect,
honor,
respect,
honor.
respect.
We are Her Royal Majesty Queen Mother Dr. Deities, Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Corps Agboje of the African Diaspora.
Sego,
Sego.
Clan Mother Sharan Wapatukwe Piper, Tribal Head Leader for Golden Hopogwasa Tribe, and Medicine Woman and Spiritualist.
les tribunaux
Ma reine,
et les gens.
votre grâce.
Je suis donc nous sommes Queen Cotelia de la Livre, le Renédou de la Croix Imperial Minimum 12 de la Livre. I am Queen Cotelia de la Livre. For we shall leave this realm, for we shall return. The next generation, Act 1.
All right, you all have no idea how much work that takes. I want to give a special thanks to Hunter Horse Entertainment, Michael, my media hand in getting this video together, and the music, all of the filming. Forgot how many miles on the road. But yes, we have presented what we could. I hope it conveys what it needs to, but this is only visual 1. There's 2 more acts, is all that I'm saying. So let's get into tonight's class. And again, please make sure that you do use your 15% off coupon code. That early bird code does end on December 16th. Use your code and use the 4 payment options, separated into 4 easy payments. We will have Her Royal Majesty Queen Mother Deities, Her Sacred Excellence Clan Mother Sharan Wapatukwe Piper, and of course, myself, Her Imperial Majesty Queen Cotelia de la Livre, le Renédou de la Croix Imperial Minimum de la Livre. So, you will be in the presence of royalty, spiritual excellence, and that means there's protocol and all kinds of things, and we'll get into all of that. But just be ready and be prepared. Okay? Super. Let us get into Um, 3,000 miles, yes, for the week just about. I couldn't remember. How many miles we were on the road. 3,000 miles, literally. So, yes, please make sure you all are giving this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Just don't be over here hoarding spiritual information, please. Be kind. Give the video a thumbs up at the least. All right. So, bringing our focus to someone said the code for the working ritual weekend was not working. One moment, please. Let me, because I'm telling y'all, those VIP tickets, they're going to go fast. Give me one brief second to double check on that real quick to see what's going on here. Oh, there was a misspelling. There was just a misspelling. One moment, please. I see what happened. Just a misspelling on my end. That has now been updated. And voila. So, no, dear, I don't think you messed up anything. I think you're perfectly fine. As long as you used what I emailed you, then you're good to go directly. So, hello, Queen Mother Devotee Dizia. Everyone, Queen Mother is here. If you would like to follow her channel, you will see HRM. That's Her Royal Majesty Queen Mother Devotee Dizia here. So thrilled to see this. Thank you. Yes. So please know again that you will, and let me just go ahead and give it to you now. Another quick protocol class in the spaces of Queen Mother in her presence. You will approach by communicating, respect, and Queen Mother will just normally call and response, honor, respect, as you heard in the in the video. So get prepared and get used to doing this. And the same with Clan Mother, with Sego, you then repeat Sego. And then there's two different ones for myself, okay? But for most, il est gens, you will say votre grâce, okay? But I will help and I will teach you. We have a couple of months to get it all together so that you know these things on arrival. And again, the biggest thing is because you don't know, we as royals don't get upset and don't reprimand you or embarrass you because you don't know. We understand. So once you're educated, when you know better, you do better, right? So just make sure and make certain that you are just learning the ways, and but understand you're going to be in a different space. with some real people, with some real things. Okay? So, yes. So, I will just repeat that very quickly for Queen Mother. You will get honneur, respect, depending on day. If you took the voodoo class or you watched the shorts, you may be greeted with the Aibobo or Bilolo or any of those things, perhaps. But always honor and respect. Clan Mother, Sego, et pour moi, votre grâce. Okay? All right. So, getting into tonight's conversation and class surrounding entities, deities, and folk spirits. So the very first thing is oui, Remea, and merci beaucoup pour cela. Merci. The first thing is understanding the differences between deities, entities, and folk spirits. So when you come into the spaces of deities, we are now talking about those divine beings. Okay? This is the gods, the goddesses. That's what you're dealing with when we're talking about deities. Now, let me make this point clear. We cannot be foolish to think that only our gods are the gods. We have to understand that there are other gods beyond the gods that may be connected to our diaspora. So there are things beyond the Orisha, there are things and deities beyond the Loa. You have your Christian gods, you have other gods that are in South Asia, and there are Norse gods, etc., so forth and so on. And the list goes on and on and on and on. So that's category number one. Numéro deux, entities. Entities are beings, okay, of a higher or lower charge, for lack of words. So you have your gods, and when I say at the top, I'm not saying the most powerful. I'm just seeing in the space of if there was a chain of command of things that you consider to work with, gods are going to be your last. You have deities. These deities, for example, I'm going to give it to you this way. Yamea or Imoja. She resides and is communicated when it comes to the ocean. Okay? You can go and find Imoja at the ocean. But then there are deities that actually is the ocean. You can find Oshun at the sweet water or fresh water, at the river or stream. But she is not the river or the stream. However, there are deities that actually are the river, the water, that space. Shango, when it comes to lightning, he is not the lightning, but there are deities that are, in fact, the actual lightning or thunder or tree, and the list goes on and on when it comes to that capacity. Going back to gods, deities, pardon, je suis désolé. when it comes to the deities, understand that these beings could have been human at one time, like the Orisha, and elevated to this space, or actually walked on the earth, which is why you have Oshun land or Shango land, etc., so forth and so on. These are religious figures, okay? Which means you live by their life. You operate your life based off of the way that they may have operated, which is why you have the HOODOO, or you have other elements and spaces that gives you insight to how to operate the ethics of life, if you will. From there, we then go into that space of of entities. These entities are not religious figures, but they can be spiritually significant, which means there may be a shrine, or there may be an altar, or there may be a room, or some kind of space that holds that entity, which may or may not be human. Under that, we then fall into folk spirits. Folk spirits are specifically centralized to a group of people, a culture, possibly a time, could be human, may have been human, now animal, or plant, if you will. For example, Haijon. Haijon is a folk spirit. Mashasha, speaking of. So during the working ritual weekend, we actually were going through the woods doing foraging as we came about essentially a tween or layer of the Rugalu, or Lugaru, rather. And we had to turn around. The trees were bent over, just specifically in the path, bent. And so I did what I needed to do, and those things, it was confirmed. It was the space of the Lugaru. The night prior, we heard it, or I thought I heard it, and I was like, was that a coyote? I wasn't sure, but I thought to myself, it's the new moon, it's the dark of the moon. It is supposed to be colder. This is more than likely a Lugaru. And we got into the woods, and that's where we found the stuff. So, like the Lugaru, Haijon, Mashasha, Patoni, all of these particular individuals are folk spirits that are centrally or centralized to culture, space, a body of people, time, etc. Okay? Now, the next thing is understanding, or really giving yourself the opportunity of educating yourself on when or why or how should I get involved in this. Well, the very first thing is understanding that that's just those top 3 tiers. From those folk spirit, you got your folk. You have your folk. And beyond your folk, you know who you have? You. So if in any situation, if you turn to you and you don't have the resources, then give thanks and honor to your ancestors. And if things are not moving as you so desire, then we're going to move to that folk spirits for assistance. So I want to reach out to a folk spirit because that folk spirit understands my struggle or my life or how things generally are or were. Okay? That's why I would go to them, because they are my essentially folk culturally. But working with a folk spirit requires you to feed and to have responsibility, or at least to make a pact to some capacity. Okay? Make a pact to some capacity. You have to, it's not a situation where you command them to do X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, but you may, in fact, create a pact, make a deal. Excuse me, pardon-moi, je suis désolée, je suis très, très, très fatiguée pour ce week-end dernier. Mais ça va, moi ça va. So, in this way, you need to understand that we can then elevate this into the space of entities. Now, when we get into the space of entities, entities are going to be these spirits that are heavier, definitely more powerful, absolutely normally more aggressive, but they will often keep demanding more, larger, bigger blessings than not. Okay? And it's normally a space when you come into that where you probably eventually will not be able to keep up. You may not be able to keep up, and that is a real thing. Okay? That is a real thing. So, be very aware with that. When you're dealing with entities, these entities are normally the kind of entities or spirits that can be trickster in a way of making it seem as though they may be a deity, but they may not be. Why are they so demanding? Why do they want that fulfillment? It is the way they are designed, number one. More importantly, it is understanding that these entities, these beings were here, some of them here, way longer than time itself, before time was ever even a thing, right? But they also recognize how humans are. You want, you want, you want. So the reality is this: they want as well. If you cannot fulfill what they want, then they get the ultimate gift, which is you. It is the control of your life. It is to take control of what you got going on. It is literally to consume all that you are, all that you have. But it's almost like this is the question of like, why does a ant carry 3 times its body weight? The ant is just designed that way. Yes, Gio. Yes. So these are like those entities and those things exactly, and folk spirits like, de la Madamas, and etc., so forth and so on. And so yes, without a doubt. Why does the tween feel so heavy? It's because it is between worlds. You are literally in a space and no space. You are in time and not time. You are there and not. You are literally, so it's this polarizing space, without a doubt. It is essentially a vortex. But as we did the working ritual weekend, as y'all saw, once I got up to the space where the Lugaru was, it was a wall, and not so much a wall in the sense of it stopped me, but also remember, as we focus on connecting to, I understood, boom, this is not made by man, and I was clear, this one that's bent, this is knocked over physically by a tree. This one over here, that is not. And you will see how the trees are turned and how they move or how they lean and all of those things. And it's just what it is, you know. In the over there, yes. So you will also understand that when it comes to spaces like tweens or whatever, that is equally as heavy as if you were doing dream working or astral projecting. Another thing too is if you're not used to being in those spaces or around those spaces, you haven't built up that spiritual wherewithal to take on that type of pressure, if that makes sense. Okay? And then from the entities, we move to the deities. Gods and goddesses are not required and does not absolutely 150% guarantee that your blessings will be answered. You actually have a better chance at having your blessings answered by a folk spirit than you would a god or goddess, because if they don't accept your offering, an offering, and as I mentioned, I think in the Loa class or the Vodou class that I taught, or the ACR class that I taught, you need to know the differences between an offering and an acknowledgement. Some of y'all out here putting out shells thinking that these are offerings. No, this is just an acknowledgement that connects Imoja to the ocean. It's an object of the ocean. It's an element of the ocean. Nothing more than that. Okay? But in the aspects of going to God's, understanding that you really are going with faith and hope. Faith and hope. That is that knowing that you were going to be blessed and that you have succeeded before you've received it. It is that thing, but also understanding that it may not be, in fact, that particular thing. Now, you may ask, well, how do I know I should work with this God or goddess? Well, the reality is this. It's like religions. You can worship however you need to and devote yourself to whatever you decide. That is not the same as saying, well, I thought you have to be called. No, you're called into priesthood. You're called into those spaces of spiritual authority or spiritual heavier responsibility. Whereas being a devotee to a religion, as I mentioned, many of you were devoted to Christ many years before you became baptized. And even after you became baptized, in no shape, way, form, or fashion did you ever think or consider, oh, well, now it's time for me to be a preacher or a priest, because it has been made clear in that space and that culture that this is their job and this is your job. You are the congregation. They're the head honcho, if you will. Okay? So, understand that you can devote yourself into any space and, of course, learn in any space, to be honest. Now, when it comes to that, though, you do want to understand that you have to really, I always tell people, journal, take notes, take stock in your experience. If I am a Christian and I go to church every Sunday, I go to Bible study every Wednesday, and I'm giving my tithes, my offerings, all of the things, and things are not working, things are not getting better, my prayers are not answered, all of those things, then guess what? This is not the religious space in which I need to be in. Well, first and foremost, excited camping. If you offer something to an entity, or to an entity, and you get the blessing, that is the confirmation that it worked. If you give them an offering, and you don't see your blessing or the movement right away, it doesn't mean that it's not working, but it may mean, for example, like this past community service, maybe your spiritual roles are not open. Maybe your mundane roles are, but your spiritual roles are not. It could be a hold up there, which is the reason why things may be slow, but it doesn't mean that it's not working. Okay? But here's a big thing. And it's like when it comes back to reading. You got to know how you're asking the question and how you're going to answer and how you're going to receive your answer. When it comes to leaving offerings or giving offerings or feeding, if that's what you're doing, then that's what you're doing. You don't go, well, I gave the offering and now this is what my abilities are doing. No. So whenever you ask that question about, or your own doing, are you conjuring or are you offering? It's one or two, not A and B. It's one or two. Okay? And then, yes. And so you got to understand, first and foremost, as a conjurer, luck is not necessarily a thing because, or even coincidences, because this is what we make happen. I wish you all could have been here for the Working Ritual weekend, because my students were able to manipulate sound in a whole state park. It was their doing. Bringing the sun out, bringing the clouds in. That is a whole soapbox that I would love to talk with you about separately. Sure. Queen on Deities. I regularly pray to Imoja, Olokun, and Oshun with cowries, river, and ocean rocks. Sea salt, frankincense, myrrh, blue-green candles for peace. This is very helpful. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm going to tell you that space of just like devoting yourself to petitioning or praying, giving gratitude and appreciation. Those things aren't offerings, but those are acknowledgments, and that's fine. Because when we start getting into offerings, I'm talking about, you got the goat, the chicken, the doves, the blood, the beans, the greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lambs, hams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkey, barbecue, sauce, like it, all the things. That's different. But your devotion and your commitment and your consistency with your devotion and your commitment will outweigh initiation any day. In the past, I have done spells and might have asked a folk spirit for assistance to leave and leave. Am I incorrect for thinking, hold up, slow up? Oh my goodness, y'all are moving so fast with these questions. One moment, please. All right, so I rarely get to ever watch. I'm so happy to see you now. I'm so happy that you're here too. Um, also you look very beautiful. Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you. In the past I've done queen. Am I incorrect in thinking that only priests or priestesses give offerings? I thought that I thought that what we left was acknowledgement. So Isis No Show. What do you mean I thought that what we left as acknowledgments? I want to make sure I'm understanding where you're coming from. Y'all, I answered just about almost every question. I have no issues answering questions. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding correctly. That was amazing indeed. It was amazing what you can do when you're not in your head. Yes. Interesting point. When you are feeding to give respect and gratitude, let's say to the cards, how do you know if it is accepted when you are not asking for anything? You are devoting. I'm getting confused by the questions. Y'all may want to come on live with me, actually, so that I can hear it. I'm not understanding, unfortunately. I thought that leaving a watermelon was an acknowledgement to the ocean and not an edible offering, or am I missing something? No. So here's the thing about it. So for example, like watermelon. So with Ia, that was an offering. A watermelon is an offering. Okay. But had you like taking seashells to the ocean and put them in the ocean, like that's not an offering. Or getting seashells and setting them up on a table and going, this is for Imoja. These are you say, here's a table for Imoja, and you start giving her that. That's not an offering. Also, giving if you say, well, let me take this watermelon and put on my table as an offering to Imoja, that's not an offering. Why? Because when we were at the Conjure Fete, Ia summoned, called, evoked Imoja Yameya to be present. So once that has been invoked or evoked, pardon, I don't know which word I'm saying, evoked, I believe, at that point, it is an offering. So if you were just to, does that make sense? Everybody gives offering. And if you usually should give your own offerings or elbow unless it comes out that things can be offered or done on your behalf. Anyone? Jessica, anyone can give an offering, but we may or may not be blessed. Even if we are not asking for anything, we can still provide that offering to them, if I'm not mistaken. You can always devote yourself and do things to acknowledge them, whatever. Again, you may or may not be blessed. If you, and again, when it comes to blessings with the deities or even entities, I always say just give gratitude. Papa Legba, for example, thank you for the roads that you open in my life. Aibobo. Be done with it. That road being open, giving thanks, could release things or bring something in. But I'm not asking for anything in particular. And that is just a simple petition, but I can put out my candle, my my acknowledgments. Does that make sense? Everyone? It is only through experience where we can know what religions to the. All right, yeah, so is it only through experience can we know what religion to vote to? No, not necessarily. Like honestly, if you wanted to become a Buddhist today, or you wanted to start practicing Hinduism, or you wanted to become a Muslim, you can do that. Like you can go, all right, I'm going to do this, and that's what you do, and you devote yourself to that system. It does not necessarily mean that that system is going to bless you, but you can devote yourself to it. You know. But a part of devotion and a part of these spaces is the relationship you build in these spaces with these deities, with the entities, with the folk spirits. And that is a big part, like Witch Mom was saying on Witches of Atlanta, like people don't think about or know to or care to do the work, put in the time. And that time that you're putting in is building the relationship with that deity, entity, or folk spirit. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, Nazare. Without a doubt. I also just can't wait to speak to you specifically, just to again hear your experience through the fact. I mean through the working ritual weekend, because it was your first time. Would you like to come on live and let us know your experience for your first time being at the working ritual weekend? If so, the link is below. I can let you in if you like. But I just want to make sure, have I made myself clear? I don't want anybody to walk away confused with the questions, or have I answered your questions where you understand the answer? I just want to make sure that I'm not dismissing or overlooking. I'm not trying to that is a big thing with me with teaching is I truly want to make sure that you understand. Yes. Wonderful. It's me. I'm here. Okay, and I would just say if anybody from the Working Ritual Weekend wants to jump in real quick and let people know about your experience, whether it was your first time, second time, or third time. And while we allow people to consider that real quick, let's go ahead and play this video one more time.
One of the important roles of the warriors is to protect those who have been silenced.
To know your warrior Wa is to devote you to protecting and uplifting.
Without them, there is no us, and without us, they cannot live.
Understanding that you are being embraced by your ancestors and that you've got to let go.
Our ancestral spirits is there to help,
I respect death.
to assist,
I do not fear it,
and to aid.
and to live it. It's a part of life, not the end of life.
The sacredness of ceremony, the connection, the power, and the
It's a
land.
reflection of life. It is vibration. It is energy, and it speaks.
We are the vessel, the altar, the thread, the path.
To know your spirit animal is
To know the spirits of the land untouched.
Honor,
respect,
honor,
respect,
honor.
respect.
We are Her Royal Majesty, Queen Mother, Dr. Deities, Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Corps Agboje of the African Diaspora.
Sego,
Sego.
Clan Mother, Sharan Wapatukwe Piper, Tribal Head Leader for Golden Hopogwasa Tribe, and Medicine Woman and Spiritualist.
les tribunaux
Ma reine,
et les gens.
votre grâce.
Je suis donc nous sommes Queen Cotelia de la Livre, le Renédou de la Croix Imperial Minimum 12 de la Livre. I am Queen Cotelia de la Livre. For we shall leave this realm, for we shall return. The next generation, Act 1.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, maybe the granddaughter, they'll come on a different time because a lot of people are actually like at the airport and all kinds of things. So they may not be able to talk right now, to be honest. There's a lot of people left out of town today, to be honest. Okay? So, it's going to be quite a lovely experience. For unfortunately, I can't come on the live because I'm on a flight, but my experience coming to the Working Ritual Weekend for the first time was nothing short of amazing and powerful. It confirmed a lot for me. Yes, indeed. So, I hope that tonight's discussion regarding entities, deities, folk spirits, etc., gave you some insight to some particular things. If you went to the Conjure Fete last year, we started delving more into folk spirits. Just last week, I gave you more folk spirits of the cemetery. And we had those discussions. And eventually, I will start teaching even more about this is what you give this one in order to get this one, that one, etc. So forth and so on. Yes, this will be saved. I do want to just mention to everybody before we sound out on here, the Hoodoo Queen Conjure Fete 8 Act 1 is out at this moment. This will be held May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I will repeat, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That is 4 days. not 3 days or 2.5 days, rather, because normally that first day is solely at the cemetery anyways. So it is available. You will be blessed with the presence of her Royal Majesty, Queen Mother Deities, Her Sacred Excellence, Clan Mother Sharon Wapatukwe Piper, and myself, Her Imperial Majesty, Queen Cordelia de la Livre. Okay? Please remember to use your 15% off code. Use that code and use the option to separate this into 4 easy payments. This, and I'm telling you, get your VIP tickets. There's a lot that I have not mentioned that I promise you are going to want to be a part of. And when I mention these things, like at the end of December, January 1st, and all the VIP tickets are gone, and I tell you what you're really getting, you're going to be upset and you're going to be mad that you did not take advantage of this time. Working Ritual Weekend individuals, you have your own separate coupons, and the current Institute students, you have your own separate one as well. So, yes, this will be saved. Thank you so very much for watching this evening. We'll have more discussions on the spaces for folk spirits, deities, and entities. Until next time, you all have a wonderful and blessed rest of your evening.
One of the important roles of the warriors is to protect those who have been silenced.
To know your warrior Wa is to devote to protecting and uplifting.
Without them, there is no us, and without us, they cannot live.
Understanding that you are being embraced by your ancestors and that you've got to let go.
Our ancestral spirits is there to help,
I respect death.
to assist,
I do not fear it,
and to aid.
and to live it. It's a part of life, not the end of life.
The sacredness of ceremony, the connection, the power, and the
It's a
link.
reflection of life. It is vibration. It is energy, and it speaks.
We are the vessel, the altar, the thread, the path.
To know your spirit animal is
To know the spirits of the land untouched.
Honor,
respect,
honor,
respect,
honor.
respect.
We are Her Royal Majesty, Queen Mother, Dr. Deities, Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Corps Agboje of the African Diaspora.
Sego,
Say,
Clan Mother Sharan Wapatukwe Piper, Tribal Head Leader for Golden Hopogwasa Tribe, and Medicine Woman and Spiritualist.
les tribunaux
ma reine,
et les gens.
votre grâce.
Je suis donc nous sommes Queen Cordelia de la Livre, le Renédou de la Croix Imperial Monumentos de la Livre. I am Queen Cordelia de la Livre. For we shall leave this realm, for we shall return. The next generation, Act 1.